the City.
What's going on, St. Louis City fans? Welcome back to Soul of the City, brought to you by First Touch Media. Today, we are joined by Jonah and Ian, and upcoming, well, there's a couple games both today and this upcoming Sunday. We're going to splash a little bit on the USMNT Gold Cup roster. We're going to splash and dish a little bit about the Colorado Rapids, who we faced this Sunday. It should be good games, weather barring. There looks to be a lot of rain in the forecast.
Yeah, so right now in St. Louis, we've got rain. We're going to have like record heat in the next couple days, I think, for this summer. And then we also have smoke from wildfires. It's
From
looking
Canada.
like Dune out there. Yeah, I think we're getting what New York had, just not as bad because it's kind of dispersed. I have some friends that came in from New York, and they were like, yeah, you couldn't go outside. It was weird.
Yeah, that looked like a dystopian movie, Dune, like you said. Yeah. But yeah, I looked at the weather, and apparently it's supposed to thunderstorm every day until Saturday. So
Not great footy weather.
not great footy weather for sure. But yeah, so who do we play tonight for the U.S.?
We play St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard of them?
Not
before?
once
Not
in my
either.
life have I heard of them.
I need to get in tune with my North and Central American geography immediately.
It's a country in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I don't know where in the Caribbean, but it's down there.
I wonder what their population is.
I can find that out.
I would guess 55,000.
It's actually 47,000.
Ah,
Yeah.
That was a good estimate by me, though.
As of a 2021 census. So, and then other than the Gold Cup, the boys are taking on Colorado this weekend.
Yep.
And last time we went out against Colorado, it was not good. And every time my name gets brought up on the podcast, it's because I'm being maimed for saying that Berkey was playing subpar at the beginning of the season. Berkey, you're great. Specifically in that game, you saved our asses. So if we need it again, please be there.
All right, you're 1 for 1 on Berkey apologies. Good job. You'll
Thank
have
you.
to keep that up for the rest
Yeah,
of
you'll
the
I
have
will.
to do that each podcast
I'm
episode.
just sick of listening to the episodes I'm not on. People are like, yeah, Ian's got to apologize to Berkey. I'm like, I've done that like 4 times already.
Yeah. Colorado had 21 shots against us, and Berkey had 12 saves, which doesn't even include the saves that he had on offside chances that they called back. I mean, it's crazy that we got 1 point out of that game.
Yeah. Hey, MLS All-Star, it's now confirmed, Roman Berkey, number 1, voted in by the fans, which that's got to feel good. Surely.
And the mullet man, Tim Parker.
Yep.
He
A coach's choice.
really?
Yeah.
Huh. I can't say I understand how he got it over maybe Kyle Hebert,
Yeah.
but
Agreed.
congratulations. You have been playing. You were playing really well at the beginning of the season. Had a little rough patch recently, but let's keep it up, man, because we need it.
Yeah, win some aerial duels on Kai Havertz immediately, or Gabby Jesus, doesn't matter who.
Yeah, seriously.
Just go Dr. Klampenstein on him and don't let anything past you. It'll be a good watch.
Yeah, absolutely. The Colorado team we're coming to play, or I guess that's coming to play us, is even worse than the one that we played the last time because they are winless in their last 8, bottom of the table completely, lowest points in the league, 29th in the Supporter Shield, and they're also winless in their last 5 attempts away from home. Their home ground is kind of where they get anything done.
Yeah.
And would anyone like to take a guess about who they beat away from home last time? Drum roll.
Sporting Kansas
Seattle.
Sporting Kansas City.
Good stuff,
Dog
Colorado
shit.
Rapids.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not looking so hot. And after the changes that we saw implemented in San Jose, I'm especially excited to take on a fragile Rapid side and let these young players cook against some pretty subpar competition. It'll be a good look.
It'll be interesting to see if we kind of adapt, because last time we played them, they just totally killed us with the long balls. I mean, I don't know how many times they were offside, but even when you subtract that out, they probably had 15 runs in behind where they crossed the ball into the box and they either got a shot off or they didn't. But, I mean, our defense looked frazzled. So hopefully we can. I mean, hopefully Carnell, realizes that. I feel like it's a pretty obvious realization to make, and hopefully he adjusts our strategy.
Yeah, I think that, they're not a dangerous attacking side. The way that they get points is a lucky goal here and there and holding people to kind of draws or, wins where they just get one goal and win. I think their highest goal scorer is like 2 goals maybe this season, which is extremely low for being 18, 19 games into the season.
Cole Bassett, Cabral, and Abu Bakar all have
all
2
tied.
goals.
Okay,
Yeah, and Cabral is their starting striker, or at least he was against us, and he only has 2 goals, which
that's rough.
You hate to see that from your starting striker,
And you love to see it if you're St. Louis.
Yeah.
That is for gosh darn sure. Yeah, I think it'll be nice to go up against some feeble opponents, build some confidence. I bet Josh Yarrow might have a clean sheet at home.
Yeah,
that would be pretty epic.
I know that the fans would like to see that because I think there are a lot of fans of Josh Yarrow. I know when we're out doing interviews, people are always kind of advocating for him to get a spot in the team, so that's exciting. And he probably will get a spot just because it looks like Tim Parker is going to be missing this one, as well as a bunch of other players. So we got Leuven still out, obviously. Klaus still out, obviously. Nielsen is not going to be back for this one. So the whole late June thing, toss that out the window.
maybe next week.
Tim Parker has like a swollen foot thing, is what I read. And so he's kind of unlikely to play. Miggy also injured and unlikely to play. And then Ostrak, who he can stay on the bench, has accumulated enough yellow cards to not play. So,
it doesn't. I guess it affects the center back spot. But I bet. Well, that's kind of Lucas Bartlett and Josh Yarrow center back pairing.
I was about to say, I think
it'll
it'll
be Hebert and Bartlett. It could be Hebert on the left again with Yarrow and Bartlett. I don't mind any of those.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Find something that works and just run with it until it doesn't. I feel like that's what you got to do in this league. We saw them find that with Kyle Hebert out on the left-hand side for John Nelson for a stretch of games where that was working, getting some clean sheets, and then it stopped working. I think that was due to some other injuries, but we saw Josh Yarrow step in last week as well as Akil Watts, and they put in a shift. So hopefully they get to start again this week.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be nice. They have been Akil Watts and Josh Yarrow, both City 2 guys who have been in front of some smaller, lackluster crowds. And I know that Akil Watts actually, that was his first start was against Colorado Rapids, was it not?
Yeah,
I think so, yeah.
And so he has a big opportunity to redeem himself because I think Chris said it on the last episode that we weren't fans of his performance in Colorado, and now he has a spot to potentially...
Yeah, we were playing the 4-2 or 4-4-2, and he started in the defensive midfield role next to Leuven, and it did not look great. So, hopefully he looks good at right back this next game, because he looked good last game.
Yeah.
Composed.
Also, last time we played Colorado is when Klaus got hurt, so some more unhappy memories about the game, too, just in case you guys forgot.
Thanks.
Like we needed a reminder.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a 14-day injury. You guys remember that?
Yep,
yeah,
I do remember
that was
early days. When
April 22nd, over 2 months ago.
We said, Adeniran, he'll be fine in San Antonio. Klaus will be back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, longest 14 days of my life.
8 weeks later.
But now we got Big Sam back.
True.
And I think we will see him start again this weekend. So I think that the formation ended up being a 4-1-2-1-2, where we had the kind of new back line with Yarrow and Watts playing that right-hand side, and then Blom as the single defensive mid, Miggy and Stroud kind of playing, giving some width, I guess, with Stroud. He was providing the only width in the game besides maybe Alm up top, and then AZ in the cam spot. I think we will see that again, and hopefully we get to see some more striker plus striker action and get Gio back into the lineup for maybe Alm up top. I feel like that combo play there that we saw between him and Klaus could definitely be there with Adeniran, who seems kind of more apt to get in behind defenders and make those long runs.
Yeah, I think we saw Adeniran a lot with Klaus, at the start of the season. Adeniran would sub on for Gio, and him and Klaus's link up, like, it just didn't really feel like they were that connected for some reason. But I feel like Gio could probably connect with Adeniran better than Klaus could. So I would like to see those two paired up top, at least for, like, maybe not starting off the game. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah. It's a really tough scenario. We've got a guy that we just brought back from loan and kind of used him in the midweek just to give Gio some rest because he's been starting a lot of games. And he goes in and scores 2 goals. So
right, and
you have your striker that scored 4 and 4 sitting on the bench, and then a striker that you just brought back off loan that goes out and gets a brace in his first game without even training with the squad. So it leaves us in a tough position, but it's a good position.
Yep. Yeah, and Sam's had all week to train with the boys, and so he'll hopefully have some green links back online. Yeah, I want to see Gio and him start for sure. That'd be pretty sweet.
I think it would be criminal of Carnell to not put Gio back in the lineup.
Agreed.
Like, I would understand if he took Sam out. I would understand it because he probably looked at Big Sam and was like, dude, you are starting just because this dude needs a rest. He's played every game that we have played this season, and he needs a break. But I don't know, man. We could see them both up top, and I think it would look good.
I mean, weren't we doing... I can't remember because early on in the season, we were doing like... Was it 4-4-2 at home and then 4-2-3-1 away from home?
Correct.
Or was it the other... That's what I thought it was.
I think that's the way that it was.
So, like, I feel like Carnell could tune into that and start both strikers at home. Like, we've seen it a lot in the past, and now we finally have 2 strikers again.
I will say Miggy Perez started last game. I think he should be the one to go to the bench.
Well, he probably is just with that injury. And then Vasilev is going to start. I think Vasilev and Gio just got sat because they are like
just resting.
Probably the most important first team players in any like offensive sense, and they were just getting some rest. Yeah. So I think AZ definitely deserves to start, and then to keep kind of that solidity in the midfield, I think we'll play Vasilev in that 8 role just to make up for Leuven being out.
Mm-hmm. And then Stroud and Alm on the sides.
Yeah, probably. It's either that or it's the 4. Yeah, if we go with the 4-4-2.
4-4-2 diamond with Stroud and Alm out wide, Gio and Sam Adeniran up top, Blom center defensive mid, and then Vasilev 10.
Attacking mid?
Yeah.
Okay, so
AZL
no AZ.
Jackson to the bench.
Okay. I'd be okay with that, too.
I'd be okay with it, too. I want to see Vasilev break back into the 10 role. I feel like he is serving a prison sentence when he has to go play the 8. It's like that's like his vibes that I receive from him when he has to play that role. Yeah. And like he still looks creative getting up and into space, but he just does not look like that's what he wants to do all the time.
No, he looks super frustrated most of the game, and I don't know, it just feels bad because we had players come in and step up for us in a big away game. Like, I thought AZ was the best player on the field. I genuinely thought that.
I think he deserves to keep his starting spot, honestly.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I don't know. Maybe it's Stroud or Alm who gets the bench. Because
could be.
Jackson did do well, and, like, he can play the 8 probably better than Stroud or Alm could.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely. So if they just kind of have, like, a trio of Blom, Jackson, and Vasilev, like, interchanging in some way in the midfield, I think that would be really fun to watch.
Well, I think that if I wouldn't be surprised to see him go with this formation again, but if he goes back to like the 4-2-3-1, I'm not sure what he's going to do because then he won't be starting both strikers and we'll probably see Stroud and Alm both play. But
how did Colorado normally line up?
So the last time that we played them, they lined up in a 3-4-2-1, kind of weird formation.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of their most recent games, let me take a look.
I think they played a back 4 in the game versus LA Galaxy that they just tied.
Oh yeah, they did get a point off LA Galaxy. That's kind of huge. So,
I mean, that's a battle of crumbs at the bottom of the
West.
But
those are the biggest games for you because you're like thinking that you're taking an L against like LAFC and stuff like that. So, if you can get points off of, the other bottom feeders, you take them where you can get them.
That's fair.
Yeah. So they did play a 4 at the back. They played a 4-2-3-1 like we usually play. And they are missing a couple players, I think, through
international duty, and they had a couple injuries as well. So Brian Acosta and Moisey Bambito are both out on international. Jack Price, he was out. He tore his Achilles at the start of the season. He didn't play against us last game. And then last week, Max, he started against us last time we played him.
He's the biggest danger on their team.
Yeah,
I thought
he's pretty good. Him and Diego Rubio, I thought were their two best players. And then that short guy Barrios with the
that came in and scored the goal. Yeah, with the hawk,
the short
super sub
chunky guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's I'm pretty sure he's leading the team with 2 goals as well.
Barrios.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, and aren't they're both an added time?
Yeah, they're both 90th minute winner or tying goals.
That's super sub status to say the least.
Oh, for sure.
I hope if he comes back on, I wonder how the city of St. Louis is going to react to him in real life. That'll be fun.
Hopefully,
probably just
him.
berate and bully him like every other person that comes to St. Louis and plays.
Darn tootin'.
I am intrigued with the possibility of weather because when we had the whole tornado situation with Cincinnati, how that kind of factored into it. If we're gonna see that again this week with kind of rain delays and stuff going on, or if they'll just cancel it. And I don't even know what's going to happen if they cancel it. Will they play it on Sunday? Will they do what they did in Dallas where they just sent everybody home and said, we're going to replay this at a later date?
Probably.
Yeah.
That's what I would assume, as long as it's not played that night. But I would think that they would try to give it as much time as possible to start the game and try to play it that night.
All right, I have a question. So I have box seats to this game.
Mm-hmm.
So if I go there and show up and then, it's raining, rain delay, 2 hours go by, I'm eating all the free food, I'm drinking all the free drinks, and then the game gets postponed. Do I get to go back in with my same tickets and eat more food and drink more drink?
Sounds like you just get a lot more free stuff.
So maybe the rain isn't that bad.
Maybe not such a bad thing for First Touch Media.
And then St. Louis don't get to play, and then it's what about the rest of us?
Yeah.
No, I plan on attending this game as well. It should be. I'm expecting kind of a blowout from this one.
Really? I hope so. I hope Gio and Sam get on the score sheet. I think it would be fun to see all the youngsters get on there. I know Chris was talking about how he looked a little miffed after the last game because he didn't get the penalty when he drew it, and it was kind of a violent penalty, if I'm being honest. Dude just runs him over.
That was a stupid penalty.
It was. It was really dumb. But I hope he gets one. He looked dangerous, man. I thought he looked dangerous. Everything looked great except for the finishing. But he was playing in balls behind, running at the defense. It looked good. So we'll see. And then when it comes to the Gold Cup.
Well, tie-in, I hope Vasilev scores because I think that he's been playing super well this season.
Yeah.
And I want him to get a call-up to the national team.
I see.
Yeah, him. I think he's got a good chance if he can return to form and hopefully get back into that 10 role and be more creative. I think Gioacchini has the best shout to join the national team and get that call up.
True.
There's a lot of young players on the roster, and this is one of those B/C team rosters that the U.S. men's national teams put together where they like to call up a lot of MLS players. Mm-hmm. So I hopefully he's making noise up there in the higher ups in USMNT.
All I'm saying is on the Gold Cup roster, Vasilev would be like Gio Reyna and Gioacchini would be like Balogun.
I agree.
Compared to the rest of these players on the Gold Cup
I agree.
roster.
We always trash Jordan Morris, and he deserves it. 52 caps, 11 goals.
See, I don't think that's that bad, but the eye test for him is just
horrible.
so atrocious to watch. It just brings me pain.
Wait, when you say the eye test, what do you mean by that?
Just watching him play. You can look at stats, but then there's also the eye test.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does he look like he's good? Is he taking players on? I don't know. Does he look like he can dribble a soccer ball?
Right. Or does it look like he has bricks for feet on occasion?
That's what he seems to be. Plus, I feel like every time I watch him, he's offsides at least 6 times per game.
Dude, he is not that fast. He I don't know. He's just a tap-in merchant this year. I remember when we played Seattle and got spanked by them. I was watching his highlights because he already had like 8 goals or something ridiculous in the first.
Hadn't he just scored 4?
Against Sporting KC.
The week before.
And everything was a tap in. It was just disgusting. I don't know. He is not a good player. Speaking of a good player, Brandon Vasquez is on the Gold Cup roster from FC Cincinnati, and I know that there's some drama going on in the MLS right now with FC Cincinnati not allowing him to go to both Mönchengladbach and then maybe a Liga MX team or something like that. I know there was like an article that popped up earlier this week, and I know for sure they have blocked a Mönchengladbach move, which is a giant move for anyone in the MLS to be moving to probably what is a top 6 side in the Bundesliga. And I think he deserves the move, but it looks like Cincinnati is like packing it in to try and win the cup this year. And I'd imagine they would give him the move at the end of the year. But how do you guys feel about that? Because I think that if a player wants to leave, and as the MLS, we are, we've got to look out for ourselves. But the bigger picture is that this guy might have a brighter future in terms of nationally.
Well, now that St. Louis has an MLS side, I am pro MLS all of the time. I don't think any of our players should ever leave. I think Messi should retire with Inter Miami. And this Brandon Vasquez situation, from my understanding, his contract was very recently redone. And so Mönchengladbach would have had to really blow FC Cincinnati out of the water to like really make the deal lucrative. FC Cincinnati are first in the league. They have a great chance at winning Supporters Shield, at competing in the MLS Cup this year. I respect their decision to want to hold him and not sell him unless Mönchengladbach are ready to slap a massive sticker on him and take him to Germany. It would be a great opportunity for him, but like I said, man, St. Louis is here now, and I care about the MLS suddenly, and I'd like all of our good homegrown talent, young talent, to stay right here in this pool.
But you could argue that what's best for St. Louis is for Brandon Vasquez to leave, because if he's doing well at Cincinnati, then that hurts our chances of winning the MLS Cup.
Yeah, dude, they get like 2.3 points per match. We need them to chill out a little bit.
Yeah, Cincinnati is like, they're good. They're like scary good, and somehow we beat them 5-1. Still not sure how that happened. I think that, like, it makes sense. They're going to try and win some trophies. Like, they just signed a deal. Okay, it makes sense. But I kind of think I'm with Ian on this one. Like, it's a move to Europe. I don't know.
Let me come back to my justification yet again. Okay, my perspective as a brand new MLS club is, how can we make this league bigger and better than anything going on in Europe? Okay? And in order to do that, we have to continue to foster young talent who come through the system, who love Hani Mukhtar, great example. MLS MVP, loves the city of Nashville, married a woman from Nashville. It works out for him, and he's super talented.
Yeah, but if you are an American with higher aspirations of maybe winning a Champions League, and you get offered a move to Mönchengladbach, this soils a lot of player-team relationships. Like, I don't think Cincinnati is going to be in good positions in terms of contracts, because they're going to see this situation, and instantly players are going to be like, no, I want like a very minimal release clause or no release clause, and you guys have to like consider offers whenever they come.
Okay, let me rephrase my question from last week. Would you rather a St. Louis homegrown carry St. Louis City to a CONCACAF Champions League, or would you rather see a St. Louis homegrown player go to a different team in Europe and win the UEFA Champions League over there?
I would want the player to do what they want to do.
Yeah, I think that too much.
I would be happy with either of them if it's a St. Louis homegrown. Like, yeah. I would rep that player. Like, it doesn't matter who they're playing for. Almost. Maybe not Barcelona.
Almost. There are
any
exceptions.
Other team probably I would rep. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe they just said no and they're hoping for like an improved offer.
Yeah, it's possible.
Does anyone know how much they offered for him?
No, I have no idea. But he is worth $7 million, which is like a lot to an MLS club. So
On
if they offered
transfer market?
yeah, on transfer market, which is generally lower than what people end up paying because people want to make
With
more
this
money.
market, yeah.
So I mean, a $10 million offer to an MLS club, that's a lot of money. So
It's not nothing for sure.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's a lot of people's transfer budget for a season. Like when earlier on in the season, when we were first playing a lot of these teams, we would always look up like how much did they spend initially to like get into the league, as well as how much have they spent like year on year. And a lot of times you're seeing clubs that are spending like $3 or $4 million a year on bringing in new talent and then exiting talent. So I don't know. I think that players in general need to start signing shorter term deals and running down their contracts, because as you can see with situations like Erling Haaland, where he is so good, obviously that's these are like niche cases with Erling Haaland and Mbappe that you're seeing where they are so good they can basically make demands and tell the team, here's what my contract's going to look like. Hey Dortmund, I'm going to sign a contract because I think that my development should start here. And my release clause is going to be 80 mil 2 years in, and I'm going to go where I want, basically. And it gets him better wages on the back end from Man City. And then you're also seeing situations with Mbappe where he's like, I'm not going to leave unless you guys pay me all of these
Signing bonuses.
signing bonuses that you promised me for seeing out my contract. And he's run it down so far that he could see all of that money as well as a giant contract at Real Madrid and a $150 million fee. So I think it puts a lot of power into the players' hands and not in the team's hands, which I think is better in general.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing. I definitely don't know if there could ever be if there would ever be a strike in the MLS. I feel like a lot of the people
Strike.
like where they, I feel like,
I don't think anyone's going to stop playing. But
yeah, I feel like most MLS players' situations are pretty good for.
You do see players that like want moves. Like if I was playing in the MLS and Arsenal wanted to sign me because that's my favorite team, I would be like, yeah, bro, I'm not showing up to this facility. Y'all are selling my ass. Like, I am not.
I mean, you see that in the NBA.
Yeah,
You see it in the NBA. You see it in
see it
in Europe.
Well, what about
absolutely.
Miguel Almiron's move to Newcastle? What did you guys think about that? Because he had an okay amount of success this season with like Newcastle's new situation, and performed pretty well at the start of the season. Has kind of fallen off in the second half of this year's Premier League season. This is a former Atlanta United player that we're speaking about.
Also, former. It wasn't named this at the time, but Landon Donovan, MLS MVP, I believe, for that year.
Nice.
But yeah, they made 27 mil on him, so that's a bad.
No MLS club is
Yeah.
turning that down.
Yeah, that is MLS
It
record.
doesn't
fee.
matter. Like Hani Mukhtar, he's getting sold for $27 million.
He is getting sold for 27.
Honestly, though, he could probably go for more.
You think?
I think so.
I think
Mukhtar?
I think part of what Almiron had going for him is his youth and his like possible talent. I feel like what you're seeing right now
His
is
ceiling.
Hani Mukhtar.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know
That's
if
fair,
he
that's fair.
could get a little better, but I don't know if he's going to be insanely good. Whereas at the time, people were like, dude, Miguel Almiron could be like the biggest shit
next
to ever
Messi.
come out of the USA, even though he's not a U.S. men's national team player.
Right.
I think also another thing that's like maybe playing a factor into this is the fact that the MLS season is like opposite from Europe's, like all of the European seasons. Just like the fact that we start in March and we go to October, and they start in August and go till May.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. It's just, why does the MLS have to do things so differently? Like, are they just trying to be different? Is it a call for attention? Is that all it is?
I think it's just a weather permitting thing. I think people wouldn't want to play it, like, not that Europe doesn't have frigid cold, but they probably want everyone to just play in the nice summertime so that they're selling out stadiums and selling more drinks.
I feel like the obvious is to avoid scheduling conflictions with our nation's greatest sport to ever be created, the NFL.
Oh yeah,
And we don't want soccer playing on our football.
dude,
It's not the real football.
This is real football.
dude. If soccer really wants to get accepted in the U.S., they just got to put like all of the biggest players in the MLS on one team and just send them out and like play Alabama and just hope they hold them to like 40. And I think they'd gain a lot of respect.
What, play American football?
Yes. Uh-huh. Do you got Matt Turner up there as the lineman?
Yeah, I'm sorry. There's no way you could ever get a soccer player to play American football.
Matt Turner's a multi-sport athlete. We saw videos today of him at the Cardinals Stadium hitting dingers. Like,
Yeah, he was 3 home runs.
was
But also, think
hitting
about
nukes.
the average soccer player, like, getting...
Physique, the average soccer player physique versus average NFL player physique.
Like, just imagine a soccer player getting the ball taken from them. How often do they end up on the ground, like... My ankle, it's broken.
Bro, I think that's just part of the sport. You think Messi couldn't run some stupid routes and just cross somebody up, like, unreal style?
Yeah, but, like,
Dude, he
what
does it
happens
with
after he gets trucked the first time? Just fucking nailed into the ground.
lights out.
You got a 76-man roster. There's a good reason for that.
Replace him.
Start bringing in the backups.
Yeah.
Let's bring down European football once and for all.
Once and for all.
All the sports are now happening in America. I'm just kidding. I don't really believe that.
God. Yeah, so... God, I love football.
I think the
basketball.
MLS will be better off if it can just make a few more, conform a little bit more to what's already been done around the world. Like this whole, like, I do kind of like the playoff aspect, but the rules are terrible. This format is terrible. The fact that the seasons don't line up is terrible. The fact that we don't acknowledge international breaks is terrible.
That's the worst part for me.
We could do all of it. I don't see why it's such an issue.
I don't know, man. You see this in every American sport where, okay, if we're going to make it all about the playoffs, then guess what? The regular season doesn't matter as long as you can make the playoffs. Like NBA teams, dudes are sitting for 40 games a season, still making the playoffs, and then they start playing. Like, people don't care. And you've seen stuff in the NBA, I guess, where they're having game requirements for seasonal awards to make, like, the All-NBA team, MVP voting, Rookie of the Year voting, that kind of thing. So you can't necessarily load manage. And I don't think that would be an issue in soccer, but I'm sure that soccer teams to a certain degree are like, we're not going to send this dude out there because the regular season really doesn't matter. We play 34 games and we've got to get to 9th. Like, that's not hard.
No, not at all. Yeah, I want the regular season to matter more. And
I think that you just have to shrink the playoffs.
Yes.
And make the supporter shield worth a lot more.
Yeah.
You need to shrink it to like 5 or maybe 6 teams or
from
4.
each conference.
Yeah.
So, like bump the line up 2 spots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it should not be 9th place. That's
Dude,
ridiculous.
that's so
Yeah,
many
that is
teams to
ridiculous.
have in a playoff. Like, so many. It's ridiculous in my opinion. But
I mean, it makes the path more difficult for sure, but it's just like I'm so used to watching and like caring about every single game that happens in the regular season
because they
that's
all
like
matter.
And I feel like that's what we've done with this podcast in a really good way is like we've made every single game matter, but all of a sudden the regular season's going to end and it's going to be like, okay, well, St. Louis finished 3rd.
Yeah.
Okay, time to start the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, did any of this even matter?
Well, we won the Western. Like, even if we do end up at the top of the table at the end of the year, it's not like you get a trophy for winning the Western Conference.
Yeah.
You just were first in the shittier of the 2 conferences that year. Like, Cincinnati is probably going to win the Supporter Shield, and we just go home.
Yeah, and Philadelphia and New England are both overperforming the entire Western Conference by themselves anyways.
Yeah.
It's just a flawed system.
Dude.
So, I mean, hopefully we've brought you guys enough entertainment to make you not think about how easy it is to get into the playoffs, but keep it on your mind and keep it on your mentality.
Dude, why did Nashville just have to fall off a cliff after they played us? Can anyone riddle me that?
Wait, what happened to him? I don't even know.
They've just started losing games. Like, I think they've lost 2 of their last 3 since playing us now.
I saw on Twitter they need a striker to play in front of Hani Mukhtar.
Do they? Well, they beat...
That was a million years.
Oh, yeah, that was a million years ago. They lost to Columbus Crew. They lost to Montreal.
Dang.
2 bad. Columbus Crew, not a bad team. Montreal, bad. Not good.
They have the only salary budget lower than ours.
Who?
Montreal?
Yeah. We're second lowest. They're the lowest. And they somehow lost to them. So,
Both those games were away from home in Nashville's defense, but also, like, still. Come on, guys.
You had to,
CF
you had to just thrash us and then go get beat twice. Come on.
CF Montreal is a nightmare club. I've never even heard of them before today. I don't
Drogba
think.
went there.
Yeah. he
Oh,
did.
you're
Well,
right.
I guess it was Montreal Impact. I don't
Yes,
think
it was
that's
the Impact.
technically the same.
Oh, we didn't get the. I didn't hear your guys' takes from our group chat this week. So start bench sell or start bench cut. Salah, Eto'o, Drogba.
Salah, Eto'o, Drogba.
I'm starting Eto'o.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I'm
tough.
starting Salah. I feel like a more sane person than I
Mm-hmm. It's good to
would-
recognize your weakness.
would start Eto'o or would bench Eto'o, cut Drogba, but I actually really like Drogba, so I'm just going to bench him due to
And
personal preference.
Samuel Eto'o played for Barca, so I see why
True.
you don't want him to
True.
play.
I
Mhm.
am biased.
So that's my list is benching Eto'o.
Yeah, I like Eto'o starting because he got to play with Yaya Toure for a bit, and Yaya
Respect.
Toure is one of my all-time faves. I'd probably bench. I'd probably Mo Salah to be able to bring on Mo. It's difficult though. That's a really hard.
I don't know, man. I thought it was a good one. over
That
the
is a good
weekend.
one.
So, you guys got anything else?
Nope.
St. Louis 3-0 against Colorado at home this weekend.
Oh yeah, you got anything to say about the predictions?
I'm gonna say 2-1. 2-1.
Okay,
2-1.
I'm gonna say 2-0. So hopefully we come back in here and one of us was right because
If we
I
don't win, I'm gonna be very sad.
yes,
we're
we
winning.
go from aggression to depression.
We're
yet
winning
again.
this game. I think it's going to be easy money. No questions asked. Carnell is an absolute king. He knows how to rotate his squad. He knows how to deal with the injuries. He knows how to do it all. And we're going to see it live this Saturday night.
And you better knock on some wood so that what you just did right there didn't ruin our chances of winning
I'm
this
not
game.
superstitious, folks.
But thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Soul of the City. And we'll catch you on Sunday after we get a dub.
W, baby. Let's go.
Thank you for watching this episode of Soul of the City, brought to you by First Touch Media and Anchor FM. Make sure to check us out on YouTube at First Touch Media, and all of our socials are at First Touch 314. Thank you for watching.